Hello everyone. Today I tried to explain the new expansion, the new excited expansion is the bridge. As I have done with the last Winter Deep and Storm Seer expansion, I shuffle the new cards and pick one by one and try to analyze it. So, the first card today is Quicksand. Okay, so place the away in target X, up is low to each hero hit. Okay, so first of all, this is a reaction, so it's very good. Play it when your enemy hero is activated, and in this way he declare a move and you will respond to play quicksand. You apply slow, so he moves only one, so it's tricky, but it's probably a lot of expansion for 2 mana. I don't know, but this is a +1, and the green cards of 2 mana usually are -1, so I have a +1 in the deck is probably good. A bad drawback is that it's each hero and on each enemy hero, so you have to pay attention when you will place the away to don't hit your heroes, because as you can see you can apply slow at your heroes too. So from 1 to 5 I assign it 2.5 on this card. The other cards is another green cards and this Grasp of Gravity. Okay, this card is, in my opinion, so good because it says if target enemy heroes has a slow, they cannot be moved with the next movement effect. Otherwise, apply slow to them. It's a reaction, it's a +1, it's a 1 mana card, so it's very versatile. I have to make you some example of this card. And when I see this card, I obviously thinking about Ishatosk, because as we can see, sorry for my voice, but I have a little temperature today, so little sick. But okay, anyway, Ixatos. The unstable ground say when an enemy activates adjacent to Ixatosk, apply slow to them. So, for example, if I have Ishatosk and an enemy heroes is adjacent to him, when in this case can we activate, you apply slow. And if he declares some skirmish probably to go out from Ishatosk, you can play Grasp of Gravity on Kenui, and the skirmish is countered. So the Kenui can only move, but can only move by 1. So this card with Ishatosk is literally a lock. If you want to lock an assassin, a marksman, this is a very good combo. Ishatosk plus Grasp of Gravity. Grasp of Gravity is good anyway because green cards has a lot of cards that may apply slow, so it can be a very countered movement effect. So my vote from 1 to 5 again is 3.5. Other card is Cooling Breeze. Okay, if you see this card, by the way, I don't like the mage, but this is another thing. It's a +0 modifier, not good for Newton deck because you have to trigger the Freyel and the other ability of Revenge, and you need a +1 or +2 is better, but +1 is good. +0 is so and so. It's an action, not reaction. So the first healing cards that is action. So you have to pay a lot of attention of this card. And it says, heal the caster, and each hero hit is X HP, where X is the twice of the number of condition of the caster. From this day 1 of Scatia, when we thinking about the healing cards, we thinking about Freyel, right? So The Mistress of Withering ability, it says that Freyel, if she has Shapeshift and play Cooling Breeze, it can healing herself of 2 HP, and if you hit enemy heroes, you deal 2 damage. So it's a good value. Play this card with Freyel, probably wholly against Kurumo, because Kurumo can apply mark to you and you have 2 condition. With 2 condition it's very good, because it's 4 HP on Freyel and 4 HP to damage to enemy heroes or healing maybe another your heroes. So, but with only 1 condition, and Freyel cast green and blue, so or you play Strength Over Brain, for example, for Frenzy, or with the Terror like as outsider. Otherwise, you have to set up a lot of this card. Probably, in my opinion, this card it's better with Kojov. Why? Because Kojov is start with fast and shapeshift, so you healing 4. Yeah, it's a mage. Mage is DPS damage, so you probably want to make play a lot of cards in mages, like a barn cards. By the way, if you have Cooling Breeze in hand, you can thinking about to play this with Kojov. Or it is a good card against Kurumo and against Miyuki, because you are Miyuki up slow, so he needs 6. So the vote for me it's 1 to 5 it's 3. Other cards is Topple. 3 mana plus 1 reaction. All good. Additional cost. So your opponent can't do nothing to respond with additional cost. It's remove a pillar on the battlefield. A pillar, not an enemy pillar. So this is so good against Talot. In a Talot deck, it's good every time, because you play a lot of pillars and you can set up your pillars and you can set up this card. By the way, against Talot deck, it's a very counter, it's a very sideboard card, because you can remove a pillar at gratis, right? And an enemy hero adjacent to remove pillar is pushed 1x and apply slow to them, to hero. So this card with the Grasp of Graphite we have seen before, it's good, for example, good synergy. Yeah, it's another 3 mana push cards, it's good. Not at all against Nuktem, because Accurate Illusion is a thing. But in my opinion, this is a good card. So my vote from 1 to 5 is 3.5. So the other cards is Materialize. 2 mana plus 1 action. Okay, if it was a reaction, it was very strong. Action is so and so. Why we don't play gank, for example, from the day 1 to the skate here? Because it's a +0 and it is a 3 mana. So on 2 and 3 we have a lot of better 3 mana spell to cast, except than gank, right? So sorry for. Materialize is very cool, because it's 2 mana. So on turn 2, Nuktem can cast this card, and you can imagine, for example, Shaders that materialize adjacent to you, mark and push you and slow, and you can't think about this, because if Shaders is take Shaders, where is Shaders is an example. When Shaders is exhausted, is marked by 1 hero and up is low to them. So if Shaders is here, for example, and you are here, safe to have your control token, and I have the illusion here, I can teleport my man all the map. I mark you, I push you, I slow you. Or for example with Abrat. I mean, I don't have seen in my life an hero happy to see Abrat in the face. So 2 mana, Abrat in the face, I don't have spent any action, all the cards, so I can worship, I can attack, I can lead. It's a very advantage. I don't know if Materialize is a 3 copies card deck, but in my opinion 1 or 2 copies is good. My vote from 1 to 5 is 3.5. Oh, Speak with the Spirits. This is my favorite cards of the set. I literally love the image. This image is amazing. Astrida is one of my favorite hero, and this image is wow. Okay, so 2 mana, +1, reaction, choose up to 2, predict 2, happily shapeshift to a friendly hero within 3 axes, no target, so apply disarm to target enemy hero. This card can do everything. You can shapeshift not Leotan heroes, so if you splash other heroes, you can let trigger the Leotan hero's ability on the not the Leotan hero. You can predict too, so you choose your lead, you can choose your attack, you can choose your flip of the revenge or the healing of Freyal. And I mean, you are Leotan, you have to stay alive, so my vote from 1 to 5 is 4. This card is my blue cards of the set, my favorite blue cards of the set. Cope. Cope is action, under bad value, but it's a +1, under 2 mana. Push target adjacent enemy heroes 2 axes where X is the number of condition of them. When we see the green cards, we thinking about Talot. But in my opinion, this card is good in a Kurumo deck. Because Ogasai or Akimo Sakoshi, I don't know, that can cast green. This is a +1 and it's a push card. And when you're thinking about Kurumo, you don't thinking about push cards. Probably Slide is better, of course, but it's a -1. And so if you want to play a flip card, a good flip value deck, probably you don't want -1. If you don't want to run Slide, this is your cards, because your enemy heroes is marked 99% of the time, and this card you can push, and your opponent probably don't think about this, especially on turn 2. By the way, it's an action, so and you have to set up them, so it's not a very good card at all. My vote is 2.5 on it. Opla. I can do that. Acrobatics. Okay. Another +2 1 mana reaction card. Apply fast to the caster, or move to if the caster has fast, move them to axis. I mean, I +2 cards. 1 mana, fast. You have to see that. Of course, with Korjov, that when activate you have fast is a movement effect of 2 axes, so it's very good. But probably the very value of play these cards is play all the fast cards, because if you play Swiftness, if you play Time Village, and if you play Acrobatics, when you flute your fast card and you have Acrobatics in hand, is not the fast card, but it's a movement fast. It's a move the caster 2 axes, so it's a time warp potential time warp. So I mean, +2 1 mana. My vote is 3 for this card. Okay, Kurumo Judgment. This card is amazing. It's amazing why? Because 3 mana +1, and Kurumo needed 3 mana +1. This did 3 piercing damage to each marked enemy on the battlefield. You don't need target, you don't need nothing. You did 3 piercing damage to each marked hero. Okay. Otherwise, apply market to all enemy heroes. Okay. In this way, if you set up your turn very good, this card is amazing. Thinking with Seteru is 4 damage to each heroes. Wow. I mean, wow. This card is amazing. Probably the must 3 copies in each Kurumo deck. My vote is 4. Indoctrinate. Move a friendly illusion on the battlefield 3 axis. All friendly heroes can be projected. 2 mana +1 reaction. I literally don't I have to play this card a lot of times to vote it better, because I don't. The 2 mana slot on the Dunkten decks is full of very good cards. Maybe Redirect, Time Warp, Migraine. So probably we have to try this card a lot before move the Accurate Illusion or Canoe Illusion in instant is very cool, but you have to spend one card, right? So and you have Whisper of Nocturne do the same. So I don't know. I don't like this card at all. So probably my vote is 2. Freeze. This card is amazing. If this card is a +1, I play 3 copies. Sadly, it's +0. +0 is not good thing for Jotun, as I have told before. If the target hero has disarm, reduce all damage they deal to 0. This is so good with another card that is a must in your deck, right? Because with the Speak of the Spirit you choose 2, you can predict and disarm or shapeshift and disarm, and when your opponent activated, you play freeze. You can literally counter all the damage of the turn with the spell, with the skirmish, with the attack. So its freeze, its loves with disarm is amazing, literally amazing. Otherwise, it's a good disarm. Probably to the highs is adjacent and not target, but it's a +2. So depends on your flip value, and you have to choose which cards is better than the other. But my vote is 3.5 on this card. Okay. Hike Tenant Senses. 1 mana +1 reaction. Predict X, where an X is the number of conditions to the caster draw a power card. This card is good. If you have slot on your deck, you have to play 1, 2, or 3 copies of this card, because it's not you don't lose the card in hand, because it's a cycle card. If you have Shapeshift, you predict 1. So with College of you predict 2. So you can choose the flip. You can choose. I mean, this card is good. Not more to say about this. My vote is 3. Another bomb of the deck, the Breach expansion, is Lure of the Tainted. 2 mana reaction +1. When an enemy hero within 3 axes gains market, the caster deals X plus damage to that enemy heroes, where X is the caster attack value. No target or no loss, only within 3 axes. Wow, this card is amazing. Akimo deal 4+, Setero 4+, Kichi 3+, Piercing. Wow, this card is amazing. You play this card, you declare a worship, you can play Decree of Kurumo to trigger this a lot of times. With the Decree of Kurumo, solely with Kurumo Judgment, you can up mark to all own enemy heroes, and if you set up on 1 hero with interacts to more 2 or 3 or 4 enemy heroes, and you play Lure of the Tainted, you apply 3 mark, and you deal X plus 3 times to the 3 different enemies. A lot of good combo cards. My vote is 4.5. Down to Earth. You can see this card name like as Down to Earth or Bye Bye Leotan Shapeshift Heroes. I'm joking, but 1 mana +1 reaction. Remove all conditions from target hero and mana bar them. Another mana bar, another remove all condition against Leotan, but pay attention. You can play this card on your hero too. It's not easy that you want to do that, but it's an option. So you can remove disarm, you can remove slow if you need that. So it's very good card. My vote is 3. Where Fate Falls. 1 mana +1 reaction. target hero condition cannot be removed unless that hero is defeated. Top power card. This card is amazing. Is you can start with card of Shapeshift or with another Leviathan Shapeshift. You can cast this card. You draw power card. You don't lose card in hand. So you pass, and you with Korjov, for example, you still have fast and Shapeshift on the second turn, on the other turn too, or with the other Leviathan is a very good counter when you, for example, deal X damage with the healing cards with Freyel that your opponent can cast or remove condition. Okay, no, you don't remove my condition, and I drop our card. So it's a 2 for 1 value advantage card. It's amazing. I put this card here because I need to say more about this later, but my vote is 4.5 on this card. Cool of the week. This is the Korjov expansion, because this card in Korjov is amazing. It's 2 mana for damage. When I bring Korjov, I bring 3 copies of this every time. And this is better than Nightmares Incarnate because you can, the other heroes with Shapeshift deal 2 damage, right? But it says enemy, so you can destroy Pillar, Illusion, Minion. You can target everything. And for do that, Nightmares Incarnate do the same. But if you have 2 conditions, this card is better every time. So if you have slow, if you have frenzy, if you have disarm, if you have mark, it's 2 mana for 6 damage maybe. Against Miyuki, for example, you're thinking about the Miyuki. Mark, slow, and Shapeshift is 6 damage. And if your opponent try to remove condition to you, you have this card in the deck. So my vote for this card is 3.5. Okay, dance of that. This is one of the very best cards. When they casted damage and marked enemy heroes, if they cast a frenzy, they are +1 attack. Otherwise, a preference to the caster. Okay, this is the best 1 mana turn 1 combo, and now I show you why. Yami or Kichi. Okay, if your opponent has an hero in the dome or in the lane activated, and you can wait for do that, if you play for example Yami, you declare I activate Yami. Okay, Kichi cast Where Fate Falls on Yami. You draw a card. So for the entire Yami activation, your condition cannot be removed. You can move, you can attack your minions, or I don't know, and you mark the enemy heroes. You mark and you have frenzy. When you pass and you exhaust Yami, the frenzy is still on Yami, so you have frenzy on the second turn, and this is so good. Otherwise, if you need to buff the pitch attack, you can do the others. I mean, I have put these 2 heroes because cast yellow, but you can play Kumaya or Miyuki, I don't know. It's the same concept. Yami cast Where Fate Falls on Kichi. Kichi move into the dome, cast this one, can attack, I get frenzy, I skirmish, and I have frenzy, and I exhaust Kichi with the frenzy for the second turn, and frenzy on the mage is so good. So this card is amazing every time because it's very, very good. But this is a very good turn 1 combo in my opinion. My vote is 4.5 for dance of that. Xotlan Nuggets. Additional cost, the same of Topple. Remove another adjacent pillar. Okay, the same. You can remove the opponent tarot pillar, or if you are tarot, you can remove your pillar. Okay, deal 2 damage to all enemies adjacent remove pillar. This is so good because it's a clean way, right? It doesn't exist in Sketiar the turn 2 clean with with clear to the minions, right? But you can set up this a lot of good. And this card is so good against Unbarrier Rights deck, against push decks, especially on Ashen Pass, because it's one lane, so each minion is adjacent to your Nexus, or more or less. So it's a very, very good card. My vote is 3.5. Breath of Life. Additional cost, remove a shapeshift for another friendly hero within 3 axes, spawn a friendly minion. Okay, action, +0, 1 mana. If you dedicate your deck to only push, you need this card. But if you play mid-range or aggro, you don't like this card. You have to set up this card a lot. Probably the best value for Breath of Life opening turn 1 is with the most tank hero of the game is River. So you can, for example, move River into the dome, lead and shapeshift, okay, or in the lane, it's the same, lead and shapeshift. And with Astrida, you can move, you can shapeshift yourself, you can attack. So you spawn a minion, play this card, remove shapeshift on River, and spawn another minion. And you start the turn 2 with a lot of minions. And if you have the Bishop object, this is a very, very good value. And you can do that. If you have this card in the opening hand, it's very, very good. But I mean, if you draw this card on turn 2, on turn 3, turn 4, I don't know. Probably my vote for this card is 3, but I personally don't like it a lot. So the last card is Vendetta. Vendetta is so good because the caster gets +6 attack, where is the twice of the number of conditional target enemy. I pick Kurumo. You have Mark, so this is a +2 attack. But if you have Slow with Miyuki, or Disarm with Migraine or the other cards, it's a +4. Wow, +4. So I mean, if with Miyuki, this card is amazing. It's a plus. You can Miyuki become an aggressive hero, and you have to be scared against Miyuki now, and against the other Kurumo with Miyuki on the battlefield. So, and it triggers with Lure of Tainted too, if I remember correctly, because X plus X is the caster attack value. So wow, you can imagine if you play Vendetta on, for example, Akimo with 2 condition, you get +4 +4 attack, and you have 4, it's 8 plus with Lure of Tainted. Wow, I mean, Vendetta is good, it's so good. So my vote is 4, probably 4 or 4.5. So I have spent so few times, but I probably do I've said the best, shortest explain of the expansion, this very cool expansion. I like a lot the Breach expansion, and I am so excited to play this card with the next battle with my friend of the community. So enjoy us on Discord, and I hope you have liked this video, and see you again with the next expansion. See you guys.